Wowie wow. So that's actually quite a good start. My man smells very nice. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I have something very, very exciting. I haven't done this video. I can't remember if I've ever done this type of video, and honestly I think most people have the perception that you need to spend a lot of money in order to smell good, and that's not the case. There are many beautiful affordable fragrances out there. These apart from maybe one or two, are really not talked about in the fragrance community, and they're very, very inexpensive. I'm talking like £15, which I think in dollars would be equivalent to maybe $21, somewhere around that. So these are all fragrances under $30. Can you imagine? I can imagine because I bought it. So, and by the way, just as a heads up, something quite nice has happened in my life, and I have a lot more free time than I used to. In the next coming months, you're going to see more and more of me. I'm going to do more vlog style videos. I'm going to be doing a series, which is very exciting for me. It's something quite unique. So if you guys are more into like the history of certain perfume houses or perfumes, then please stay tuned. Or even if you just want to, I know this sounds a bit weird, but even if you just want to watch me go out and about, do different things, I should have a video coming up next weekend, which will be that style of video. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So for the first fragrance, we're going to start off with a bang. It's from the house of Gress, and it's one that I think is more of a cult favorite, but not many people talk about this specific fragrance. And if you guys know, Gress is like a French haute you know, couture fashion brand. It's been around for quite some time, and this particular fragrance I believe is actually named by the costume designer of the actual designer of the house, and her name was Alix Buxton, I believe. So this is called Madame Gres, and I think this specific fragrance is actually dedicated towards her. And wow, wowie wow, this one really took my breath away when I first smelled it. It's honestly such an incredible fragrance. Take a shot every time that I say wow, by the way, because there's going to be many wows in this video. This is as if Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel and La Vie Belle had a baby. I know some people have said that it's similar to Miss Dior, and I kind of get that, but I don't know, it kind of has like a very fruity tart opening. So it has pineapple, it has grapefruit with a little bit of cardamom. Luckily, thank God for this, I don't smell a lot of cardamom because I'm not a huge fan on that specific note, but it definitely gives it a bit of an edge, some, you know, fruity qualities in the very beginning, and then it becomes the French, sophisticated, chic type of beautiful perfume that it is. So it goes down into a chypre type style, so it's floral woody. It has a big note of peony, which is quite fresh, inviting, feminine, with like a vanilla patchouli kind of a core towards the end. And that's why I said to you guys, it does remind me of Coco Mademoiselle, because it has that tartness that you get in the beginning, but then also that vanilla patchouli-esque kind of end. It's not overly unique, I'll be honest, but considering it was only £16, it is one of the best sophisticated, classy fragrances you can wear. You can take this to work. With it being 100ml, it will last you a fair amount of time. My boyfriend, when he first smelled this, he went absolutely nuts. He genuinely thinks this is one of my best fragrances in my collection, and you wouldn't think that because, as I said, people have the perception that cheaper fragrances aren't as nice, and that is not the case with this fragrance. The only thing that I would say is the performance isn't insane. It does become a little bit more intimate. It becomes a little bit more of a skin scent, but that's right towards the end. It will last a long time on your skin, but the projection isn't fantastic, if that makes sense. Equally, I mean, I've already had compliments off of this. My boyfriend absolutely adores it, as I said, and even on his skin, I was like, wow, my man smells very nice. So if you've never tried it, please give it a go. That's Madame Gres. So the next fragrance that I have is from the house of Agatha, I think that's how you pronounce it, Agatha Paris. And I'm really going to butcher this name. It's called Ballade au Versailles. Ballade à Versailles, eau de parfum. So This again is 100 ml. This is such an incredible fragrance. If you've never tried anything from this house, I would really recommend. And to be honest, considering it was only £15, I think the bottle is really pretty. So I don't know whether you can see that. And you even get like this little detail, which I think is fairly cute. And then Agatha across the lid. So as I said, I mean, considering that it's not very expensive, I thought they did a fair job with the presentation at least, which is quite nice. This fragrance is actually very unique. You know, I was really not expecting that much from this fragrance, but I was really shocked to kind of find the similarities between this and another fragrance in my collection. So let me just spray a little bit here for you guys. Wow, that is so beautiful. It's very sweet. So if you're not into sweet fragrances, this might not be for you. It has a bubble gum type note to it, and I don't know, it doesn't have tuberose, so I don't know where that's coming from. It's very bubblegummy. So if you're into that type of fragrance, even for example, if I put a picture up here, Betrayal Woman from Amouage, that has a very similar, very sweet, sticky, bubblegum type of note to it, and that's what I get in this fragrance. I don't know if anyone talks about it like that, but that's what I'm getting just from first sniff. And then what's really interesting about this fragrance is it has a huge note of peach. And yes, you have the like bubblegummy type of scent to it, but also you have this really big note of fizzy, champagne-like peach in this fragrance, which makes it very tart, quite sparkling, very inviting, not too heavy. So with it being very sweet, actually the peach in this makes it quite mature and not overly nauseating either. So it's not too heavy. Then right towards the base, you have like a typical vanilla patchouli kind of accord, which is really pretty. It kind of grounds this fragrance because, as I said, it is quite bubblegummy. It has that peach fizz, champagne-like quality to it. And considering it was only £15, this performs like a beast. Genuinely, I mean, the longevity on this thing is insane. Even the projection and the sillage is really nice. So if you're after something a little bit more unique, bubblegummy, but still classy. The reason why I say that this is classy is because a lot of older vintage fragrances, they have a big note of peach. And this is very evident in this type of fragrance. You have the bubblegummy, sweet, fizzy quality, and then you also have this peach champagne-like quality to it as well. So overall, I think this is a fantastic fragrance. So that's Ballade à Versailles from Agatha Paris. The next fragrance that I have is from the house of Zara. Of course, I was going to include the Zara fragrance. They have some really incredible perfumes in their collection. The only thing that I find, I don't know if you guys feel the same about this, sometimes they can come across a little bit nauseating. I don't know if it's just me or if it's you guys as well, but even just walking in Zara, and you know when you're testing out all of the different fragrances and the different perfumes, that weird, nauseating, headache-inducing scent can kind of be a little bit off-putting. So this is one that doesn't have that much of a nauseating quality to it, so that's actually quite a good start. So this is called Sultry Pear, and to me this is a very true gourmand. I'm just going to spray a little bit here, and before I do, I don't know if it's just me, but I actually thought the cap was quite pretty. I mean, it has like this enamel type of top. The only thing is, why is it so thin in the, can you see that? I mean, are you truly getting 100 ml worth of perfume in here? Are you truly getting that? Because I don't know. I mean, it says, what does it say? Oh, I can't even read it. It's all blurred out at this point, but let's just give this a spray just to remind ourselves how this smells like. Wowie wow. This is so beautiful. Has a huge note of pear in the beginning. Yes, that tartiness, it's definitely there. But what I find really pretty about this, it goes down into like a marshmallow, vanillic almond note with a bit of praline, bit of chocolate, some milk chocolate in fact, not like a dark chocolate or a cacao a milk chocolate. It's not overly sweet, which I enjoy, because the only thing that I find sometimes with gourmand fragrances, if they're too sickly sweet, I'm gonna find it annoying and I'm not gonna wear it as much. Whereas this has a great balance of that fruitiness with the pear, mix that with some white florals, and then goes down into like this fluffy almond, praline, chocolatey type of vibe, not overly sweet or cloying. It's absolutely fantastic. A lot of people actually say that this is quite similar to La Belle from Gaultier. I don't actually agree with that, and the reason why I say that is because Gaultier La Belle is a little bit, to me, more tart in the beginning. To me, it's a little bit more fruity with that pear note, and also it has a huge note of vanilla. Yes, this is vanillic, but that fragrance is sickly sweet to me. I know it's, listen, don't get offended when I say that. I know it's a beautiful fragrance, but to me it can kind of come across a little bit nauseating, whereas this one has the balance of being fruity in the beginning with that like more uplifting pear, then going down into like a fluffy almond, jasmine mid, and then ending with a vanillic praline base. That kind of has a little bit more balance to it. It is a little bit headachy, so try not to spray too much. I think that's probably coming from a note of ambroxan. I know that's not listed in the notes, but that typically gives me a little bit of a headache. So after all, you're only paying £22 for this fragrance. It's 100 ml. It smells absolutely delicious on the skin in particular. In the summer, wow, this would be absolutely amazing on a girl's holiday. If you don't want to spend that much money, but you still want to smell delicious, approachable, this is one for you. So that's Sultry Pear from Zara. Right, so the next fragrance is one that will really blow your mind, and this blew my mind as well. I was not expecting this from this fragrance. So this is called Gold Edition from George's Rech, I think that's how you pronounce it. So that's the bottle. Quite an interesting bottle, to be honest, like the way it's shaped and everything. Very gold. They weren't lying about the gold edition, that's for sure. So this, I believe, is 100 ml. Guess how much I paid for it? £11. £11. That is probably one of the best deals that I've ever had in terms of a fragrance, and this one is absolutely gorgeous. I know a lot of people talk about Mousse Poudre from this specific brand, and that is also a really beautiful fragrance. This I find like really beautiful, so let's just give it a spray. Wow, that beginning is so pretty. It opens up with like a tangerine orange opening, a little bit fruity with some jasmine. Very pretty. Not overly cloying as well, and then goes down into like a marshmallowy vanilla with some like patchouli and some cashmeran as well. And typically, I don't know if you guys are the same, but cashmeran can sometimes be a little bit cloying for me. You know, when you have like a wool jumper that's just been washed and you kind of get like that fuzzy, warm smelling, comforting smell to it. That is kind of what you get in here, but less cloying. So that's what I find really beautiful about this, and it has like a vanillic marshmallowy type of vibe to it. Now listen to this. I sprayed this, and guess what perfume it reminded me of? Love Delight from Amouage. And I was like, where am I getting this from? And not in the beginning. So the beginning of Love Delight is much more complex. It has a lot of things going on, like florals, fruities, gourmands. It's a little bit all over the place. It's a nice fragrance, but it's a little bit all over the place in the beginning. It's the dry down that I think saves the fragrance and makes it quite pretty. And this is so similar. I mean, I was really shocked. I was like, why do they smell so similar? And genuinely, I think it's a mix of the very marshmallowy vanilla mixed with a bit of like orange and that cashmeran wood. It just smells very similar to Love Delight on the dry down. So if you really enjoy that fragrance, and if you want like a cheaper alternative that you can wear more as a daily fragrance that you don't have to spend as much money on, this is one for you. So that's Gold Edition. The only thing that I would say is that it's a very linear fragrance. So when it first opens, that dies down quite quickly and it just becomes quite linear, doesn't change very much. So if you're happy with that, then great. I think you'll really enjoy this, but that's just a heads up in case if any of you guys are wondering. So that's Gold Edition from George's Rech. So last but certainly not least, it's a fragrance that I've been loving for years. This is more hyped in the fragrance community, so it's not so much of a I don't know, like a secret find. So that's just one thing to know. It is quite popular, but it deserves the popularity because honestly, it's so stunning, and particularly for the price, with it being a designer fragrance, I think you can get it for a really good cost. I got like a 30ml version for it for £25, which is very close to $30. So it's there or thereabouts. So I thought I would include it anyway. So that's Girl of Now from Elie Saab, which many of you guys will know already. So let's just give it a spray. Let's remind ourselves of this beauty. Oh my god. This really transports me back to the first time I ever bought it, and I thought it was so beautiful. I have such great memories of this fragrance. So as you guys know, this is an almond bomb. This is very sweet. So if you're not into sticky, overly sweet fragrances, this is not for you. So that's one thing to note. Loads of people just compliment you when you wear this fragrance. I think because it is so sweet and it is quite feminine, with it having a huge note of almond. In the beginning, it has a very big blast of oranges, or like a tangerine type of quality, which gives it like an initial like candied fruitiness in the beginning, and then goes down into a very marzipan-y, creamy pistachio type of mid, and it is absolutely unbelievable. Considering it's not very expensive, this has to be one of the best gourmands that's on the market. Has a nutty quality to it, so if you're into almonds or pistachio kind of fragrances, this is one for you. Marzipan, marshmallow, vanillic kind of quality to it, which makes it very fluffy and inviting. So this is what I mentioned about, you know, when you're wearing this fragrance, a lot of people want to get close to you. They really do, and they want to smell you more, and they smell you more. I've had so many occasions where I wear this fragrance, and men in particular really enjoy it. I have no clue why. My boyfriend also, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think it literally just died, so I don't know where we got up to, but I was just saying that my boyfriend really finds this fragrance quite beautiful. The performance on this is unbelievable. Considering it is a little bit more of a cheaper fragrance, you'd assume that it doesn't have great performance. This, on the other hand, is beastly. Every time that I wear this, the sillage is insane. Like, you can smell it wherever you go. Like, for example, if you're walking down a corridor and if somebody's behind you, they're going to be able to smell this fragrance. And equally, I wouldn't go overboard when I'm spraying this, because with it being so sweet and fluffy and marzipan-like, it can be a little bit cloying. So don't go overboard. I wouldn't even wear this in the heat of summer with it being so stickly sweet. So would really highly recommend this fragrance. If you guys don't have it in your collection, please give it a go. So that's Girl of Now, the original from Elie Saab. So guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed, and as I said, I have some really exciting content coming up. You guys aren't ready. I have everything planned out. Honestly, just keep tuned, especially for like the next coming weeks. I'm going to have some really exciting content. And also, if there are any affordable fragrances that you guys would recommend to anyone, down in the comments, please let us know. So comment down below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.